Hey guys, this is like your first experience with a video with me, I think. I pray that it works. I know this is a little bit daunting with all of these words, so I'm going to try to do something here. What do I want? I want the screen revealer. Okay. So you're going to take some notes on some definitions. The first one is algebra, a way of expressing math using variables, constants, coefficients, and operations. We're kind of doing pre-algebra, but it's a good idea to understand what algebra is. So this is a good time to pause the video and write down these definitions. A quick way to pause a video on YouTube is to just press the space bar. Okay, a variable is a letter that represents an unknown value. Its value changes from problem to problem. A lot of people say, my teacher taught me that x is 1. Not true. X is not 1. We're going to talk about what 1 means with regard to x. But a variable's value changes from problem to problem. A term is a number and a variable put together by multiplication. In algebra, we don't write the multiplication symbol between, we just always write the number and then the letter, and those are terms. Coefficient is the number in front of the variable, including the sign. An algebraic expression is statement is spelled wrong. There should be an E right there. I wonder if I can put an E in there. Let's see if I can do that. Perfect. A statement containing numbers and variables and at least one operation, but no equal sign. That's an expression. An equation has an equal sign. Alright, so you have all those definitions. Again, pause the video right now. Make sure you write them all down. A constant is a number with no variable, just a number. The degree of a term is kind of complicated. It's the value of the exponent of the term. If there's more than, and we didn't talk about exponents, but I know you've seen them before. They're the little numbers above the variables. I should probably do an example of an exponent. So when you have like 3 times 3 times 3, that equals 3 to the third power. I should have done that differently. How about 4 times 4 equals 4 to the second power. The exponent is the number above. So like x times x times x equals x to the third power, because there's 3 x's being multiplied. And again, we're going to do examples of all of these. So just get the definitions down and make sure you understand the words. And if you don't, call one of us over. We'll be happy to help you. Like terms are terms with the same variable and same exponent. And we're going to get to those later, but they're really, really important. Okay, I think I might have missed a page here. Oops. Okay, identify the variables, terms, coefficients, and constants. So, variable in this problem is D. That's the variable. It's the only thing we don't know is D. Terms, there are 2 terms, because there are 2 things separated by a plus sign. The first term is 3D. The second term is 4. Coefficients, there are 2 coefficients, sort of. Some people would argue there's only 1. The first coefficient is 3, because it's next to the D, and coefficient is defined by the number in front of a variable. Some math people say that there's an invisible variable here, and that the coefficient of that term is 4, because every term has to have a coefficient. We'll be pretty lenient as far as that goes. The constant, there is no question, the constant in this problem is 4. It's the only thing that doesn't have a variable next to it. Okay, how many terms are there in this example? Well, there are 3 terms. There are 3 things being separated by a plus and a minus. The constant term is a negative 2. Now that goes back to when I described coefficients. I said the sign in front. So some people say, I thought that was a minus. True, but that sign right there goes with the 2. So that 2 is negative. The coefficient of the first term is 5. That's the number in front of the x. The degree of the second term. So here's the second term. Degree is the value of the exponent, and it's said in your notes, if the exponent isn't written there, it's assumed to be a 1. So the degree of the second term is 1. Identify the terms. The first term is 3x squared. The second term is 2y cubed. The third term is negative 4x, and the fourth term is positive 8. Identify the coefficient of the third term. Well, the third term is right here, and the coefficient is -4. Again, the negative sign goes with the 4. It's a -4. Identify the degree of the first term. Well, here's the first term, and the number above it is a 2, so the degree is 2. The constant in this problem is 8. Identify the terms. The first term is 4x squared y cubed. Second term is -2x cubed y to the 5th. Third term is 3. Identify the coefficient of the third term. Again, it's a 3. Still, even a constant can be a coefficient. The degree of the first term. Now, if you go back to your notes, you'll see degree is the sum of the exponents if there's more than one. So the degree of the first term is going to be 5. The degree of the second term is going to be 8. Now, I didn't ask you to identify the coefficient of the second term, but go ahead and do that. What is the coefficient of the second term? Hopefully you all said it is -2. Okay, so that's it for all of those words. There's one more thing on your first practice sheet today that we should probably go over, and that's adding and subtracting fractions on the calculator. So let's do like 3 2/3 plus 5 4/5. Now, you're all going to have a graphing calculator, and it's going to look like this. Oopsies. And remember, hopefully you have the one that's updated where you can say alpha y equals, but we got to get out of this screen, so I'm going to go second quit. I'm going to clear all of this so you don't have to look at it. If you can push alpha y equals, it gives you a nice fraction symbol. The problem is I have a number in front of my fraction, so I'm going to arrow over to the left and put my 3, and then I arrow over to the right and I put my 2, and then I arrow down and put my 3, and then I arrow over. So that's 3 2/3 plus. Now I'll do 5, and then I'll do alpha y equals numerator denominator. Oops. I'm going to arrow to the left again and again to get a 5 right there. Arrow up to my numerator and put a 4. Arrow down to my denominator, put a 5. Arrow over, and that will give me the answer. And that's in lowest terms. Now, if you don't have a calculator that's updated, you can simply do 3 plus 2 divided by 3. That's 3 2/3. And if you want to push enter, then you can do math, enter, enter. And that will give you this as an improper fraction, which is 11/3. It's a little bit more work, but you can handle it. The nice part about order of operations is you can do 3 plus 2 divided by 3 plus 5 plus 4 divided by 5, and that will give you the right answer, and then you just have to convert it to a fraction. Still 142/15. Same thing. Hopefully we all have calculators that are updated that can do the alpha y equals. So let's try one more example. Let's do -7 3/5 minus 6 2/3. So I'm going to go alpha y equals, and I'm going to arrow to the left and do negative, that's the negative sign down there, -7, and I'm going to arrow over and do 3/5. I'm going to arrow over and do minus 6, oops, nope, can't do that. I have to do alpha y equals, enter, arrow to the left, now I'm going to do a 6, arrow to the right, 2, arrow down, 3, enter. And I get -214/15, also the correct answer. So your warm-up or your first worksheet in class is going to involve everything we talked about on here. If you have any questions, call a teacher over. If you finish, you're going to move on to the next video.